We got some hot fixes in today's video, guys. I am so happy finally, after probably 2 to 3 weeks or even maybe a month now, we got some new hot fixes. So we're going to be talking about the very first one, which is actually some of the weapon adjustments that they made, and that is going to be starting off with the DNA. So the DNA is a Maliwan SMG that has been given an adjustment, or quite a few adjustments. So we're going to be starting off with what they did. So they increased the weapon damage, the mag size, the fire rate, the projectile speed, and also they decreased the reload time of the weapon. So when we take a look at the base stats, we have now 34,000 base damage, which is quite impressive. We also have a 1.6 second reload speed, which is very fast, and also a good mag size now with a decent fire rate. So the weapon should perform quite well. I'm excited to see what it can do. If you guys look on the card, it doesn't really show a specific element. That is because this weapon shoots pretty much a rainbow of elements all at one time, which is kind of out of our control, but that is the only thing about the weapon. So a cool little thing too, guys, if you notice, we have all the metas of the Maliwan SMGs, or at least what used to be the meta for now. So we can kind of go back in time a little bit when we had the meta of the Kibsworth. The Kibsworth was the meta for Moe's back when the Maliwan takedown dropped. Everybody freaked out about this gun, and it was super good on Moe's. But if you look at the base damage compared to the DNA, it only has 4,424 times 2, which compared to 34,000 damage is not that much anymore. Then the second meta went to the Flipper. The Flipper is still is quite up there in terms of the meta, because not only does it do 6,700 damage roughly, but it doesn't mark on the card, but it also is a ×9. Can shoot up to 9 projectiles if you hold the trigger long enough. And if you notice, the fire rate, the reload time is a lot lower than the DNA. The DNA has a better reload time and a better fire rate for that matter, and also a little bit better of a mag size. Then the third meta became the plasma coil with the arms raised. The plasma coil is extremely powerful along with the Flipper, and it has a base damage of 38,000 with great accuracy, great handling, good reload time, amazing fire rate, and also a huge mag size. So in comparison to the DNA actually stands its own ground. Obviously it doesn't have the same base damage as the plasma coil, but it's not too far off anymore, and it actually does have a little bit better of a reload time. So the DNA is not all that bad. We're going to be giving it a try. We're also going to be showing you where you can farm the DNA for yourselves, and then we're going to get into some Maliwan takedown footage to see if this gun is truly a good Maliwan takedown to add to your arsenal. So let's get right into the gameplay, boys. Alright guys, so if you wanted to farm the DNA, you have to make your way over to Necrotafea, and you're going to fast travel over to the Desolation's Edge. From there, you're going to make your way along a small trek. Probably just put a little fast character on with a snowdrift, slide your way through, and the enemy you're looking for is called General Trant. We're going to drop a waypoint for you guys right here just so you can see where to go, and we're going to be killing him for you in the video and see if we get lucky enough to get a drop. Now, I have tested the drop rates so far, and they're quite bad, honestly. I killed him about 10 to 15 times before I got one. I got lucky because I switched my character over to Zane, and I got one pretty much on my second try with Zane, but on Moe's, it literally took me forever to get one to drop. But I guess it's a bit of a luck thing anyways. But here we go. We just killed General Tron for you guys, and we're going to see if we got the drop real quick. And it doesn't look like we got it, so we're going to be moving on to some gameplay. Let's get it. Alright guys, we're jumping straight into some gameplay. I'm going to be giving you my honest review. So first of all, with the DNA, it is really cool that it can shoot random elements. It's quite different from some of the other weapons being traditionally just being one element. But again, what I would highly recommend, because it doesn't shoot all the elements, and what I mean by that is it misses radiation. So it shoots every element except for radiation. So what you want to do to complete the rainbow is to add either URAD or on next 2 mags, get more radiation damage. So that is going to give you the full rainbow effect. Now, obviously, with the legendary property shooting random elements per shot, what's going to happen is it's going to take away from the maximum damage you can do to enemies, because you're better off shooting elemental specific elements at that said enemy. So let's say you're dealing against armor, you're better off just using corrosive to get the maximum damage. Shooting shock and fire against an armored enemy is not going to be a good way to maximize your damage. So the gun is in a very awkward position, because you have things like the plasma coil, you also have the Flipper, which are super strong Maliwan SMGs, and we already had a taste of what that feels like. And having this gun doesn't really feel that much different, honestly. It doesn't shoot any crazy effect aside from random elements. The projectile speed, although had been given a buff, is still not that good. If you go against a hellhound or a fast moving trooper, what's going to happen is those shots are going to be missed, unfortunately, and that is what made me want to put this weapon on Amara, because Amara has inner purple tree, 70% increase in projectile speed, and I wanted to see if that was going to actually make a difference on the weapon. So if you do want to use the weapon, throw on URAD. Make sure on your class mod you have projectile speed, weapon charge time, and either splash damage or SMG damage. But with that being said, the gun is definitely not better than the plasma coil or the flipper. The flipper and the plasma coil are still the best SMGs in the game when it comes to Maliwan anyways. So this weapon for me is a bust, unfortunately. And you might be like, well, we're getting some good damage in this gameplay, Scare Soldier. Well, I really have to reach to get that damage, guys. If you notice, my Iron Bear has been on cooldown in every single clip, and that for that reason, it is because I wanted to increase the big surplus, because big surplus activates when Iron Bear is on cooldown, and it's a super big bonus in damage. As soon as Iron Bear finishes cooldown, there's a huge damage drop off, and it's very, very noticeable, and that's what I'm going to show you with Amara. So we're going to be moving on to Amara in a second, and you're going to see that without Ties That Bind. So with Ties That Bind, obviously any gun is going to be good because Ties That Bind is just that strong. But when it comes to single targets, there's going to be a huge damage drop off, and that is what I want you guys to pay attention to. So unfortunately, the weapon is a bust, guys. I would not recommend that you farm the weapon, unfortunately. But that's okay. At least you guys learned something, and we can all move on from it. But look at this damage drop off, guys. It's hard to hit these enemies. Look at this Hellhound completely dodging these shots, and this is with 70% extra projectile speed, and it still can be hard to hit these enemies. So right over here, we're going to have a nice clip for you guys in a second. So we're going to be looking at that, but look at the damage drop off right here. So look at that. Without that remnant orb, look at this. Look how we're struggling to kill this one heavyweight, and look at this right here in a second. See what I'm talking about? The guy's basically just running away, and he completely dodged my shots. And look at this enemy right here. Yeah, so that is the DNA in a nutshell, guys. Don't farm it. It's really still not that good of a weapon. You're better off just going to get a plasma coil or a flipper, and you're good to go. So that is the review on the DNA. Hope you enjoyed the video. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's your boy Scare Soldier signing out. Peace.